The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com.
Lynn, your husband's ex is clingy?
Yes, very. They have not been together for over 20 years.
Oh, my gosh.
And my husband and I have been together for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was a situation that he left her, just no indication, no anything. Just while she was gone, he just packed up all his things and left. And I don't know if she just doesn't have closure or if she's lonely. She's never been with anybody else. She still kind of feels like she's married to him and has let me know. And
you mean he feels he's married? Oh, she feels.
No, she still kind of feels like she's married to him, kind of in her head.
Okay.
And then shows up at, any kind of place we are or functions, anything that we're doing together, especially if their daughter is involved.
Okay.
She just invites herself, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be the jealous wife.
Yeah.
And I'm not jealous, but I'm irritated. I have just had enough. I've dealt with this way too long, and it's escalating.
So how does he deal with it? Does he find it an annoyance? Does he like having...
He does, but he ignores it. He doesn't want, he's so non-confrontational. He will not say.
Why do you think that's the case?
I don't think he was taught by his family. His whole family is that way.
Okay, because, in one sense, I think you and I both, I know you're very irritated by her, and in another context, if she has no closure, then give her closure. He needs to say something. He needs to give her reasons why he left, or, she can go through life just with huge question marks.
He kind of did 2 weeks ago. We were at a family wedding, and even on things like that, he's always insisting, oh, you have to sit right here by me, and things like that.
Oh, he has her sit next to him?
No, she does.
Oh.
He wants him, but, I just give him that look, and I tell him, if you do, I'm gone.
Okay, yeah, he needs to set really clear boundaries. And it seems like, the question to me is, what is the dynamic going on here? Is she just a wounded puppy? I mean, hurting so much and not making any progress? Has she gotten therapy? This is not your domain, obviously. This is her issue. Has she been able to get some closure and move on? Or is this a subtle way to undermine your relationship over the years?
Oh, yeah, I am totally sure she's trying to undermine it and make him put her before me.
Okay,
because
well, if that's...
we are out somewhere,
yeah,
he will make everybody aware that she was his first wife.
Okay, so he's the problem, not her. I mean,
they both are the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, he has no backbone.
Right, but you can't control, you can't control him either, but you can work with him. On one hand, you need to be firm with him. On the other hand, you need to be lovingly firm and just say, this is hard on both of us. So number one, I'm putting you both on the same level playing field, not why are you doing this to me, which makes everything lopsided, like he's the bad guy, and then he'll become defensive and whatnot. But this has been going on for so long for both of us. Let's brainstorm some solutions together that get us out of this Groundhog Day. Did you ever watch Groundhog Day?
Yes.
It's the same thing every day, right? So the same woman, this ex keeps showing up all the time, and he caters to her, and it's the same dance that they're doing over the decades. And hey, he's married to you. I would be devastated. My husband wasn't married beforehand, but I would be devastated, let's say, if one of his girlfriends showed up to all of our events and he was announcing, hey, this is my former girlfriend, come sit with us.
Right.
I would be very upset. Then there are the dynamics if they had kids together. That's a whole other layer, and how that plays out.
Yeah, they had one, and she's a grown woman now.
Yeah.
But so if we go out to dinner and she knows where we are, boom, she shows up.
Okay. So what does she say about this?
She wants this whole fantasy of sister wives.
She wants what?
The whole fantasy of, that Sister Wives TV show.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, it's about a Mormon family who has multiple wives.
Oh,
Like
okay.
5 or 6 wives. And they were. Back when they were married, they were Mormon. And she does not condone their divorce.
Right.
Because once you're married, you're not ever divorced. And she's made that very clear to me for many, many years that they're not really divorced.
Okay.
But yet
So
you're
into the Mormon, you've got an ideology that supports her morally, in quotes moral, I don't buy it obviously, but morally supports her in quotes, pretending that she's still married to him because he can have multiple wives. Do you know why he walked out on her?
Because she was way too controlling, and he said she was just over the edge, crazy religious.
Okay, so he's liberated himself a little bit. He needs to go the whole way, though. But
I know.
here's my what I would recommend.
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. I wish I knew more about what girls want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance, a serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
Here's my what I would recommend, that you two want to work together. Really listen to him and let him listen to you. Get in a mindset, not when you're angry or not when he's angry.
Oh, I never get mad about it. I just, because it's kind of been a way of life for me the last 10 years, but I've kind of turned it into humor, like, oh, what is she going to do next?
And something that's actually, I call it the sitcom solution, where you make it into a sitcom in your head, which, not to diminish the pain you're going through, but to lighten it for yourself so you don't make it go too deep.
Right. Yeah, that's where I am now, because, he would never take anything of her seriously.
Right.
He gets equally annoyed, but...
he loves you?
Oh, yes. There's not a doubt in my mind. And it's just, we think that she's lonely and just has no life, so to speak, outside of work, and just is looking for things to do.
Would he consider a restraining order?
No.
Okay.
No,
so
she's never, that is never.
So she's not, okay. So if that's the case, he can do things that diminish things. Like you can work together, and he may goof up for the first 10 times, but just practice maybe not announcing, this is my former wife or something. Not announcing, not giving her any visibility.
No, he doesn't. He's not the one that says that.
She does.
She flamboyantly goes all as loud as she can, telling everyone.
Then I would leave the events even.
I was his first wife, and makes it very clear.
Right, and there are some things that he could do. He could say, yes, and I wish that you recognize the fact that it's no longer a marriage. He could say something that would put her in her place, but if he doesn't have the assertiveness skills, or if he doesn't want to...
For the very first time, 2 weeks ago, for the very first time, he did say, during a conversation at a table we were all sitting at, she said something, and he's about her, kind of being controlling, because she knows she is, and he said, yeah, and that's why you're not my wife anymore.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, that's starting to set boundaries, and that, if you can work together with him, maybe even with that little touch of humor, with that angle, I think the two of you can stay together and figure out how to disengage your connection with her over time in a way that's loving with each other and a little bit humorous, too.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad. Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologists Drs. Kenner and Locke.
Here are a few assertiveness tips that may help you express yourself more effectively. 1. Limit your complaint to the most pressing issue. Deal with one issue at a time, using examples as needed, and make it the most important one. Overwhelming your partner with a litany of complaints will shut down the conversation abruptly. No one can manage even 3 issues at once. 2, do not be afraid to express strong emotion, provided this is not done with malice or with you language, you always, you never, but with frankness. For example, I'm furious now. I'll be back in half an hour to talk about what happened. Your partner needs to know the intensity with which some conflict is affecting you.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com and buy it at amazon.com.